Let's talk about twin flames. They're like supposed to be a next level soulmate. The idea of twin flames is that each soul is incarnate with a divine masculine and a divine feminine energy. And this is proven in science when you talk about left brain and right brain thinking. So every soul has a masculine and a feminine attribute to it. Doesn't matter what avatar, what body you're born into. So my spiritual awakening process and my process of transformation was catalyzed by a twin flame experience. So on Halloween of 2018, I was charging my phone at a portable charging station out on the streets of New York, as I typically did. And I recognized that I had an 8% charge on my phone. It was 8:08 p.m. and I was looking at my bank account and it had $88.88 in it. So this is the first time that my awareness had ever been opened to sequences of numbers, which is something that you hear often in spiritual communities. And I just thought that it was very strange. I took a screenshot, went on with my life. 8 days later, I met this man who is my twin flame. He was the complete mirror image of me, down to the same hair color and the same height. And he was exactly like me. At the time, I was a hardcore hedonist, I was a drug addict, I was a debaucherous mess, and he was a mirror to that. He was a male version of that. And so going on this journey, this man wanted nothing to do with me. After a couple of days, we were on a drug-fueled bender with one another, and then we just disappeared out of each other's lives. But I became obsessed. I started making videos and content, begging him to be part of my life. He was a stranger to me. So after I had my spiritual experience in heaven, his voice was the voice that guided me through. And part of my spiritual experience was being downloaded with the divine feminine and divine masculine archetype for all of humanity. I was shown Shiva and Shakti, Jesus and Magdalene, Isis and Osiris, and shown that we too were part of that same makeup, as are all souls. But at the time, I just thought that it was me and him. And I was like, oh my God, we're Adam and Eve. We're supposed to be together. So I went to his house and I broke in. I know that's not crazy, but I felt this great sense of urgency that I had to tell him these things. And when I broke into his house, obviously he was taken aback. And I just refused to leave. And he was like, you are being psychotic. Get out of my house. Please, I don't know you. And I said, I'm not leaving until you remember. I'm not leaving until you remember. And I sat on his floor. And his floor was full of trash and his apartment was really dirty. And I was sitting there and he started to call me names, obviously, because I was invading his space. And he starts calling me all these names. And eventually I start thinking to myself, man, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've lost my mind. Maybe I'm going crazy. What am I doing here? I'm making a fool of myself. I don't need to make a fool of myself. And then he kind of chuckled, but I hadn't said any of those words out loud. And so then I said inside my mind, can you hear me? And he took a step back and I said, you can hear me, can't you? And then all of a sudden, our chakra systems opened up and started to align with one another. And our sacral chakra stayed open. So it was like we were having this orgasmic experience from 10 feet across the room from each other. And as our chakras opened, we started to become drawn closer and closer to each other. And I looked into his eyes and we had the same color eyes, these bright blue eyes. And inside my right eye, I have this one brown speck underneath my iris. And when I looked into his eye, he had the exact same brown speck, but in the mirrored eye. So it was my right eye, his left eye. So it was literally like we were looking into a mirror with each other. And then we were downloaded with each other's deepest, darkest shame. And then again, this separation, this insane situation happened where I experienced telepathy with another person. Hello, did anybody else know that you can do this? It was pretty shocking to me. And obviously I thought that we were supposed to be together and be on this journey together. But again, he wanted nothing to do with me and the whole thing was really scary. So that was the catalyst to my recovery journey and to the whole process of spiritual awakening for me. And so I'm so grateful for that. And he's only ever manifest one other time in my life. I was in an institution integrating my experience, and they would let us go to the library once a week to check out books or go on the internet. And so I was on the internet doing research about twin flames and how to manifest your reality. And it said that in order to properly manifest your reality, you must detach from outcome. You can't be attached to if it happens or when it happens. And so I said out loud to the computer, okay, if I don't get to be with him in this lifetime, I'm okay with it. I know that it exists, and that's enough. And then I walked out of the library, and he was standing right outside of the library, right as soon as I had let it go. And again, he still wanted nothing to do with me. But I think the moral of this story basically is that the twin flame journey is really about my own internal self-love journey, which is so boring, right? Like, hello, where is my male counterpart? And I really thought for so long that it had to be him, it had to be him, all of these divine signs and synchronicities and experiences that we had with one another. But really for me, it's been about uncovering myself. What's lovable about me? What do I like about myself? What do other people like about me? How can I contribute to society? How can I be of service to other people and to myself and to my higher power and to the universe as a whole? And so it really detached from the desire to be with this one other person. So twin flames is a super buzzword, it's super all out there, and I think that it's one more level of distraction for us to keep putting effort into things outside of ourselves. And so for me, it took me a while to understand that it was really everything about going on inside of me. And today I feel very balanced in my spirit as far as the masculine and the feminine go. And that's my experience with twin flames.